It's the beginning of Lent. Are all of you guys excited for Lent? Do you need a Lent? I need a Lent this year, and I hope all of you are fasting. Do you know I slept like a baby last night, which meant I kept getting up over and over again, vomited one time, screamed, mommy, mommy. Why is that a phrase, sleeping like a baby? My babies were wild sleepers, and they'd go back to sleep, but they're up constantly. Anyway, the point is I had a dream last night that I woke up and I immediately started eating bacon. I had a bacon wrap. I had 2 servings of meat, because you're supposed to abstain from meat on Ash Wednesday. It's also a day of fasting. But we do kind of a lame fast as Catholics. We only fast. We get 2 snacks and we get a full meal that's not supposed to be as big as a normal meal. That's quite a bit of eating for a fast day, I have to say. And then they phase it out when you're relatively young. I think that, once you get to be like 60 or something, like you don't have to fast anymore, 55, somewhere in that range. You can coach me up on the rules, aloha@alexmarlow.com. But I'll tell you, I'm fasting as of now, but this is not atypical. I like to do the show fasted. Do you know who did his show fasted, by the way? Charlie Kirk, who was in this slot before he was assassinated. He liked to do his show fasted as well. And so I'm maintaining that. But I'm looking forward to this. It is a season of reflection. It is a more somber occasion, and I do feel like it's a good time after sort of the bacchanal that is January. That's really not a thing in this country. But for me, it is actually, because all my kids have birthdays in January, February. I have my birthday in January. It's time to start focusing. And I think sometimes the sacrifice, the committing yourself to giving up something that matters to you, to reflect on how good we have it. And this is the whole point of Lent. This is the whole point of the suffering that we endure, is that we are forced to contemplate that Jesus suffering, having to fast, having to go in the desert 40 days and 40 nights with nothing, and then to be crucified on the cross is something that's so impossible to comprehend for us human beings. All we do is we give up candy, or we give up dessert of some kind, or we give up, what I'm going to do, one of the things, I'm going to give up a few things. One of them, I'm not going to look at my phone in the bedroom. That's going to be one of the things, because we're all addicted to some degree. I think I'm better than most, and it's very hard not to put that thing down when that blue light disrupts your sleep, all that stuff. But just contemplate this. And those of you I think this is agnostic, religious-wise, but to think about the idea of how good we have it in this country and how spoiled we all are. And now the fact that hot showers were not a thing less than 100 years ago. We really have a remarkable slate of things we get to enjoy, from our food to our comforts to our air conditioning to our cotton sheets that we get to have, to our cars. We have autonomy. And all of these blessings, with the freedom of being in the United States of America for the vast majority of this audience, all of that built in, we just find a way to complain too much. We have the access to basically all of human history and all of human information on our phones. It's sort of hard to curate and sift through. That's where I try to help you out on the show. We try to help you, Breitbart News. But it's all there if you want to go hunt it down. And so give up a little something. Try it even if you're not a Catholic, or if you're not a Christian even. Give up something for the next month and a half. See how it feels. Because what it does is it reminds you of your mortality. It reminds you that if you sacrifice a little bit, it reminds you of how good we have it and how just small sacrifices can be so difficult. And it makes you reflect upon not just all the sacrifices that Jesus made. Of course, I accept him as my Lord and Savior. But even if you don't, think about how much better we have it than so many other places on earth. And I think about this a lot in the context of the news. You see people like Eileen Gu, who benefited from the United States of America. She is the downhill skier. And she is someone who studies at Stanford University, is physically very beautiful. Everyone admires her. She walks around getting told she's a demigod her whole life. And she takes a giant bag of cash from CCP, Communist China, that has untold amounts of human rights atrocities. And then she's confronted, and this was just last day or two, with the Uyghur genocide, which is actually going on, where Uyghur Muslims are getting genocided in China. That's happening to this day. It's basically undisputed. And she said it's not her business, because she's a moral coward. And she's never been told and been confronted with the stuff that I'm talking about, that maybe it's worth every once in a while contemplating on, are things really that bad? Are things really that bad in a country where you have all of these creature comforts, all this flow of information? It is important that all of us understand that what we have now is historic opportunity. There is no excuse for failure in this moment if you really put your mind to things. And you can do it with a smile on your face. You don't have to Karen. You don't have to trash everyone in your life. You don't have to start unnecessary beefs. You don't have to indulge in feud culture. With a little bit of discipline, you can improve your life. I mean, think about how reasonably easy it is to be healthy now. I know there are a lot of addictions, a lot of temptations, but there's limitless access to nutritional information. Everyone get the fat shot now. Thanks to Trump, you get it at a cheap rate. You get a lot of opportunities to improve your life. And so let's use this as an opportunity this Ash Wednesday, this beginning of Lenten season, to try to reflect on where we're actually at and maybe do some good because of it. All right, I want to get in the news now. And I want to start with what's going on with Colbert and the FCC. And I'll tell you what Jasmine Crockett has done is she has figured out the whole thing. What she has figured out is that the reason why the FCC didn't want James Tallarico to appear on Colbert's low-rated, money-losing show is because of why. Because it is unfair not to the Republicans, but to Jasmine Crockett herself. That's the whole point. Colbert is trying to recruit a white male to vault Jasmine Crockett in the Democrat primary in Texas. And Crockett has identified this. I got a clip of this. I'll play this in a little bit. But this is what's so important, is that Tallarico's fundraising off of this. He got a couple $1 million for it. Colbert is acting like he's a victim of Trump. No, he's an oppressor. And I'm going to go out there and say it flat out. Colbert's decision to try to elevate Tallarico over Jasmine Crockett and not giving her fair air on the Colbert Report on CBS is an act of blatant, overt racism. And everyone needs to treat Stephen Colbert as if he is a Klansman. This is the equivalent of Jim Crow. This is Jim Crow 3.0, what we witnessed from Stephen Colbert. So think about, I mean, that is, of course, I'm being hyperbolic, but that's essentially what's happening, is he's trying to disenfranchise a black woman. And he's doing it because he doesn't think she's any chance of winning in Texas, which is probably true. But that's the whole point of the public airwaves. The public airwaves are not so that late night comedians get to pick and choose how we do our politics in our country. The nature of it is that when you have a person who is tasked with overseeing this massive amount of government-controlled spectrum, which is CBS, because government-controlled spectrum, we would like to have it. We don't get any over here at Salem. We don't get it at Breitbart. We would love that spectrum. CBS gets it. And when you get a guy who's not just shilling for the DNC each and every day on his program, but now is picking and choosing which candidates get airtime to get promotion, millions of dollars of earned media, and then he's blaming Trump and acting like it's Trump's fault. No. The FCC, I'm sure, would be fine if equal time was allotted to Republican candidates and Jasmine Crockett, who we all love. We all love Jasmine. We're a Jasmine fan podcast and radio show. Those of you who are watching, we stand for jazz. That's what we do at the show, at the Marlow show, at our Breitbart News in general. The content is unbelievable.